went finding it. Yeah. And then I went to Leslie Scrivener's book, and wouldn't you know, and I think it's a good sign that in Leslie's book, Terry Fox, his story, today's journal entry is there for August 7th. So I think that's a good sign for today's meeting and the next weeks to follow. So let me say again, thank you to everybody for joining, and I'm going to read today's journal entry that Terry wrote 41 years ago today on August 7th. And just to, I should add too that, you know, Terry finished this journal entry. Some of you may have already seen it, but Terry finished his journal entry today with something that obviously was very, very important to him. And I think is perfect for this year's Terry Fox Run t-shirt design as well. So it fits in perfectly. So all these things are aligning. Terry wrote Thursday, August 7th, 1980, day 118, 26 miles, a total of 2,734 miles. Today was an excellent day. I was finished 26 miles by 3:30 p.m. Did 14 in the morning and then 12 in the afternoon. The morning was very cool, in fact. I had to wear a sweater for the first 2 miles. The miles were strong and solid until the final one of the day when I nearly collapsed. Got that empty, weak feeling when the heat and humidity got to me. We stayed 24 miles away from Blind River. I met an Indian chief today. And again, Terry obviously felt that was so important to his day that he had to mention that, the very last thing of his journal entry. And as I said, it goes so well with this year's Terry Fox Run t-shirt design. So, and our Métis heritage. So, that's it. Thank you.
Freddie, that's amazing. I will say it's been really an honor for me this year to be able to read actually content from every day of Terry's journal. That has not, you know, he gave it to Leslie Scrivener, and Leslie did include a lot of the content in her book. But to follow up on Fred's story, what I thought, I actually emailed Fred a couple of weeks ago because I've been doing a lot of research in trying to give people a little bit more of storytelling about Terry on our social media. And so to follow up on that story, Fred, I think you remember there was, it actually, the Toronto Star wrote an article specifically about Terry meeting this Indian chief. And in fact, the family ran alongside Terry for 2 miles, the mother and the father and their 3 children, because they were so moved by what he was doing. And then they came up and at the end gave him a necklace. And I asked Fred, I said, you know, I know there's thousands of artifacts in the archives. And Fred said, unfortunately, you know, I'm sure it's there. I don't remember it. But I always thought that was, you know, the more you learn about Terry Fox, the deeper the story becomes. It's really meaningful. So thank you, Freddie. That's perfect. And I will say that the response, thanks to you guys on the call, the response to the shirts have been fantastic. So it's exciting to see, and we're a little worried about when school gets back that we might get slammed with a lot of orders for t-shirts, but that's a good thing, never a bad thing. So we're gonna really sort of start the day. We just wanted to be able to talk a little bit about the broadcast benefit that's going to be happening on Monday. I'm delighted Michael Mazza has been gritting his teeth, biting his nails, and trying not to completely lose his mind over the event that's happening on Monday. First time we've had this in 41 years. So I'm delighted today. Michael's going to share a little bit more news about what's happening on Monday and how it's being received. So Michael, welcome.
Thanks, Martha. So yeah, we are excited about Monday. I'm excited today, you know, just to be talking about run organizing and things like that. And, you know, despite the fact the pandemic continues to complicate our lives, you know, I'm just excited that we're going to talk about things like the run. However, in the next 2.5 days, I hope you're all thinking about Monday at 8 o'clock local time, 8:30 Newfoundland. Tune into CBC or CBC Gem. It will be a 1-hour pre-taped, no commercial broadcast, and it's really good. So it's stories of hope, determination, inspiration, cancer survivors stories, stories about science and our focus on cancer research. We just have a really great lineup. So we have iconic Canadians. So we have some music performances, and they're really it's Alicia Cara, it's Tom Cochrane, it's William Prince. They're really strong performances and fun to listen to. But then we also have a whole list of other iconic Canadians. Mike Pinball Clemens kicks off the show with his high energy, as he always brings, which is really great. But we have people like Catherine O'Hara, Lloyd Robertson, Rick Mercer, Rick Hansen, Sidney Crosby, Perdita Felicienne, Daryl Sittler, Tyler Shaw, Jay Triano. It's a big lineup. And as always, we mix in everyday Canadians that just do extraordinary things, and their stories are every bit as inspiring. We finish up with the Prime Minister, and again, the goal is to get people to feel inspired to call in and donate. So they can text Terry to 45678. They can call our toll-free number, or they can go straight to our terryfox.org website and make donations. So between now and then, encourage everybody all past run participants to watch the show. They're going to love it. We also have monuments across the country that are going to light up, and that's kind of exciting too, because we have monuments now coast to coast. We have a number of volunteers that are going to photograph it, and then they're going to stitch that together to create something kind of special, just showing the whole country united. And lastly, if you haven't registered for the run, register for the run, and there's a good reason to do it, and then get everybody else to do it, because we have an after show. So we had so much footage that we just couldn't put it all in 60 minutes. So we have this after show that for everyone that's registered, they'll get a link and they can go watch more Terry Fox. And what's better than more Terry Fox? So I think that's where I'll leave it.
Well, Michael, we're super excited. Thank you. And thank you for taking this across the finish line. It's a big finish line. So it's really exciting. I think those of us who've been around a long time and a short time want this to happen. I have a couple questions I'm going to ask you before I actually throw something to Denise. But one of the questions is it like a telethon? So what is this, a fundraiser?
100% it's a fundraiser. So we don't want people just to watch and sit on their couch. We want them to watch, call in, text in, go to the website. But the goal is to donate. Again, our goal is, Terry was about inspiring us, but his objective was for us to donate so that we can raise money for cancer research. And that's the goal of the broadcast.
That's excellent. Yeah, I think Denise was mentioning it earlier. I'm going to introduce Denise, but she said that, there's a little snippet right on our social media about Alicia Cara. And you can see there's a number at the bottom of the screen. So she freaked out thinking, oh my God, is it live? Is it live? And it is, in case you want to donate now. So this is great. Thank you, Michael. We're really excited. You made Terry Foxers very happy, because more Terry Fox just makes us all happy. So I'm delighted to be able to introduce our new colleague at the Terry Fox Foundation. Denise Diaz is our VP of Marketing and Communications. She has been thrown, let us say, bluntly, into the deep end. When she was originally hired, Michael was casually mentioning this telethon gig and how exciting it was going to be. And she said, so like 2022? And he's like, no, like 7 weeks from now. So Denise looks remarkably perky for a woman who's 24 hours a day. But I'm really thrilled. It is delightful to work with Denise. She is a Terry Foxer already, and has brought an amazing breadth and depth of experience to the foundation. We're thrilled. And today I've asked her if she could speak a little bit about the kind of feedback she's getting about the broadcast benefit going into Monday.
So hello, everybody. I'm so thrilled to join you. I've been with the Terry Fox Foundation now for just over a month, and I'm just so delighted to be a part of the team and inspired every day. And as Martha mentioned, it's a great time to join because there's a lot going on and a lot of excitement. So I can't believe the broadcast is only 2 days away now. And the response so far has been incredible, from everything from social media comments to media reaction and public relations activity. So what I can say is most of our coverage is actually landing over the weekend and on Monday. But so far, we've had a ton of great press already. We've generated close to 12 million media impressions. It's been picked up in many, many different publications across the country. And you'll see on Monday, Fred will be on Breakfast Television and Global Morning Live. And Fred and Michael are going to be on CBC radio syndication afternoon drive shows across the country. So we're expecting really, really great saturation on Monday. It's also going to be on Q with Tom Power. It's all over the place on Monday. So if you don't see it somewhere in either your paper, which also we're running ads in the paper. If you don't see it in your paper or on the radio or on TV, let me know, because I want it to be all over the place. We're also running a lot of boosted social content and sponsored social content across all of our platforms, which is getting really, really great engagement rates. And what else can I tell you? We're also leveraging a lot of the excitement, the public excitement around the broadcast has resulted in iconic landmarks across the country being lit red and blue on Monday night. So everywhere from BC to PEI, there's almost every single province except Manitoba is on board. So we're still trying to crack that Manitoba nut, and we will by Monday. But I think it's a really great opportunity to show visually how the country is coming together on Monday night to support cancer research and to celebrate Terry. And we'll be securing photos and videos of those iconic landmarks lit up, and we'll be sharing it next week with the post-event thank you message to donors. So there's a lot of exciting excitement and publicity and marketing happening around Monday. And we hope and expect that it'll be a great result for us.
We are incredibly excited, Denise. It's going to be, it'll be an amazing opportunity for us all to take part in this bigger event. A couple of questions for you as well that we've had that have come in. So one of the organizers asked, we're hoping to host an online watch party for whoever in the community might want to join us to sort of share that excitement. Is there any technology through CBC for watching a host party, or anything that we could maybe look into and get back to the organizers? It's a great idea, especially now that there's a little bit more, we're able to interact with a few more people. Our bubbles are bigger. But it's a great idea, and I just want to make sure we check into that if possible.
Yeah, we've had a few of those questions and inquiries of people wanting to air it kind of with their own family and friends. As long as they're not charging admission to watch the show, like if it's not, a theatrical release with tickets and events, and as long as they're not building an event around it that would be commercial or sponsored or charging tickets in any way like that, it should be fine for anyone to stream the broadcast through CBC Gem in their own homes or in their own communities or with their own families or friends. If that answers your question, Martha.
I'll check with the run organizer who asked it, and I'll let you know if we need any more clarification.
Yeah, it is available on CBC Gem globally as well. So anywhere in the world can watch it on Monday night through CBC Gem, and it'll be available afterwards for up to a year on CBC Gem.
Oh, that's fantastic. Excellent. Okay, well, this is great. Thank you guys so much. We can't wait. One question I have is, will we be able to use the content on behalf of the foundation going forward, the songs, I know the family has never, other than the Rod Stewart song, has never actually had a Terry Fox song. But just wondering what our permissions will be going forward.
Yeah, so we are we want to leverage the broadcast as much as possible because so much effort has gone into producing a really incredible, inspiring show. So we definitely don't want it to just kind of air on Monday night and then be tucked away into the archives. We want to use it, we want to repurpose it, we want to share it beyond Monday night. So two ways that we're doing that, we're creating an after show, which will be available next week to anyone who has registered for the run by August the 10th. So we've used that as an incentive to register early for the run. And if you register by August 10th, you'll be sent a link to an exclusive after show, which is basically it's extended footage, exclusive content, never before seen or aired footage. And it'll be fun. It'll be great. And it'll be, I think, especially following Monday night when people are just hungry for more and wanting to see more, this after show will deliver that. And then another way that we're using the content is through a virtual run show, which we're packaging, which I think we'll talk about a bit later, Martha, but we are packaging a virtual run show available to all run participants on the day of the run. And it'll be shared in advance. And it's a way to kind of really bring people together to feel a sense of togetherness and community. And that show will have content from the broadcast. So the Tom Cochrane song will be in that show. A couple of the celebrity shout outs and special messages from celebrities for people on run day will be in that show. The Fox family make a great appearance all in their t-shirts in Fred's backyard. That'll be on the show. And there will be a celebrity chef offering breakfast tips, and also a oh God, his name, Michael's going to kill me. I always forget his name. I think his name is Matt Nickel. Actually, it just came to me. Hallelujah. Matt Nickel is a NHL coach, a former NHL coach, and he'll be doing a warm up for the virtual run show as well. So it's a warm up, it's breakfast, it's entertainment, it's fun messages from people, and it's going to get everyone really, really jazzed and excited to have a great Terry Fox run.
Oh, it's amazing. That's great. And I want to clarify too, Nancy, like this is the first time we've ever obviously offered this, which is fantastic. But it doesn't have to replace anything. Some organizers do their own, like last year they got very engaged and were able to coordinate their own opening ceremonies. So we're not asking people to use this. They don't have to use this. They don't have to share it. They can still produce their own without any obviously problems. You know, we welcome everybody bringing their own flavor to the Terry Fox run.
Absolutely. This is just an added tool to engage your community. So there will be an opportunity for you to share the link, share the show, and present it to your community and your volunteers directly. It'll also be on our website, so you can point people to our website to see it. But yeah, it's just an add-on. It's just a great add-on that we have this year. It's bonus content because of the broadcast happening on Monday.
Okay, that's great. Excellent. Okay, so we will absolutely touch on that coming up too. And one question, Denise, I think somebody had posted in the chat that they, in one of the content, in the email for the content that we sent the link for, the video post doesn't have sound. Should all the video posts have sound?
There are several variations. So one of them, I believe you're right. I believe one of them doesn't have sound, and we did that intentionally because we didn't have clearance for the musical distribution at the time, but we now do. So there are multiple versions. You can use the one with sound.
Okay, that's great. Perfect. Okay, that's excellent. All right, so thank you guys. That's the broadcast details, and we're vibrating with excitement. Oh God, I'm big again. Oh my God, I'm not wearing this shirt again. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is not really how you want to start a Saturday. Okay, so I'm going to quickly do a little presentation. So what we're here for right now is to talk a little bit more about in-person events. And I was getting very anxious this week, and Michael Mazza said to me, Martha, you don't have to have all the answers. And I was like, I felt freed. I felt freed. So you know what? If I have no answers, if my PowerPoint is blank, just go with it. I should have actually done a blank PowerPoint. Oh, damn, missed that opportunity. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen here with you guys. And here we go. So we wanted to really, let's just follow up, as I said, about the July 28th email that we sent. And it's about really a little bit about in-person. Well, it has mainly been in person, but a bit about virtual as well, because we're going to have both this year. So just to summarize what that statement was about was really acknowledging that we're in a transitional phase of the pandemic. Oh, you see, I wanted to say traditional because I missed the Terry Fox run. So it's transitional. And what really we realized probably even maybe a month before, was that it's impossible, unlike last year, to have a one size fits all. Things are really evolving, and we had to be realistic, and we had to reflect the approach in every region. So what we also had come to hear was that obviously, because of the changing situations in some regions, and even just some local municipalities, some run organizers were reaching out and saying that they felt that it was possible for them to host an in-person event. And we agreed that that was a reasonable assumption, assuming or seeing what was going on. So what our key thing was really in that letter was the recognition that, and Fred even mentioned it on an earlier call this morning, provincial, regional, and local public health guidelines and restrictions have changed several times, as we've all lived through. And Freddie was even mentioning a location in BC that has just pulled back on amped up the restrictions and brought back masks and things like that. So our key message was we wanted you to proceed with caution and plan with caution, because what we didn't want was, you are the most remarkable volunteers in the entire world, as far as we're concerned. The heart and soul that you bring to the Terry Fox Run is like none other. So we do not ever want anything to end in disappointment. And if restrictions are tightened before the run date, it could result in a disappointing experience for you, for your volunteers, maybe your participants, if your plans that you've put in don't come to fruition. So we really just wanted to make the key points to us for you to address. If you are considering an in-person event, obviously the status of your regional and local public health guidelines, your ability to obtain a permit if that's necessary for you. This is an important point too, a gathering equal to or more than, because what might happen is you may have a neighboring community that might not be having an in-person event, and those participants who usually go to that event might stroll over, desperate for Terry Fox, to your event. So you may end up with actually more people than you expect. So we want to make sure that whatever restrictions you might have on numbers, that is taken into account. Some local municipalities are talking about COVID plans. So that's another thing that you have to make sure that it's taken into account, what those requirements are and whether you can sign off on those. And finally, and honestly for us, one of the most important points is your own personal comfort level, willingness to promote the event with yourself and your committee. So how we sort of envisioned it, and a couple of people, I'll be honest, the response was that they felt the letter was a little bit negative. And we felt badly about that, because nothing matters more to us than conveying to you like the joy that we feel for the work you do. So we're sorry if that anyone felt that the letter was a bit negative, because we know that Terry Fox Run is the best day of the year. I love my kids. Doesn't really matter when their birthdays happen. That's just frankly more work for me. But when Terry Fox Run Day comes, it is so happy. So I think the issue for us really was that it's going to be a challenge to create the regular run day environment and the atmosphere, because we're suggesting a safe and minimal approach, frankly, to run day. So, Michael made a great edit to the letter. For those of you who know me, know I probably don't like to be edited, but Michael made a great edit to the letter and said, we want to focus on providing a meeting place for people to celebrate Terry's goals and values. And I thought that was a beautiful way of sort of saying what matters most on that day. So we appreciated that you were, understanding that kind of what our considerations were about safety and of volunteers and participants is that we didn't want to really encourage hosting an opening ceremony, a warm up, offering food and beverage, and any kind of family activities that could extend the hours where people are together. That was our attempt to really, the concept of it being a minimal Terry Fox run, nothing like we normally have. However, the foundation's committed to making sure if you want to host an in-person event, if you've been able to, make sure all of those things work for you and your community, we will update any information on our website page. So right now it just sort of gives the one day your way messaging. We'll update that with your local messaging, time, location, etc. We'll also provide you with a database of your 2019 and 2019 participants and 2020 registrants, because of course, we didn't have actual participants at run sites last year. We will also provide you with a database of your 2021 people who register a week before and the day before, so you can continue to message to them that you are having an in-person event. And we're also going to provide masks to your volunteers and participants, because the masking is probably one of the more pertinent topics that is still being considered and people are worried about. Again, it comes down to your local guidelines. If there is no masking required at your events, that is what you can continue with. But we feel like perhaps it would be a nice gesture on the part of the Terry Fox Foundation to provide masks for your volunteers and perhaps any participants who would ask for one. So there'll be an FAQ coming next week, a document with a lot of questions that sort of are a little bit more fulsome based on this topic. And including in that will be the details of how you request the mask quantities. A couple of Q&As. Oh, I ran out of time. I will address the last one. But there's in this FAQ, there's a lot of Q&As, and a couple of them are here. So what will the national email communication say, and the media, our communication to media? It's still going to reflect the one day your way messaging. It's too difficult for us to start to pull our databases apart to message for the events that are in person. However, as Fred commented early on a call, he said, this is really still a really meaningful message for people, even if they're coming to an in-person event, because they're still doing it their way. So as I said, it's rare that we actually hit all the points, and we did. So that's fantastic. The other one that I think is important, should I alert my participants that our run will be minimal? I think that's a really important thing to do. Terry Fox participants, they are just remarkable people. There is no incentive. They come, they raise thousands of dollars, they get a sticker, which I hope all of you got in your mail this week, or I think our national mailing landed with our little 2021 sticker. But I think that we don't want anyone, again, going back to the disappointment, we don't want people to be disappointed. And I think, they're an amazing group, but I think it's just setting the stage for what is going to happen at an in-person event. That's sort of key for us. So, and then the last one, which I didn't really respond to, was how do I work with the media? We will be providing you, of course, with our media kit next week. There will be messaging for both in-person and virtual events. So we want, it's going to be a bit of a challenge, as we all know, because there will be some runs that are virtual. There will be some runs that are in person. And of course, all of them will be a hybrid. Well, all of them will be virtual, because we will have people that won't want to attend an in-person event just yet. So we could have sort of call those ones the hybrid events. So we want to make sure that the media understands why the foundation has moved forward with having some in-person events. That's an important message. We also want you guys to know that we are absolutely available. If you feel like you're getting any questions from media that you don't feel comfortable answering, please pass that along to the provincial staff. We want to make sure we work with you on those kind of questions so that you always feel supported. It's, as Michael said to me, there'll be questions we don't really know, we can't anticipate, and that is absolutely true. But know that there is always a team here behind you to make sure that we answer those questions, and we'll do it quickly. Sorry, this is a lot on this page. I apologize. So this is a kind of key one for us in the end, is really it's how do I contribute as a run organizer if my run is virtual? But it's basically the same question as if how do I contribute if my run is an in-person? Like there's very much the same approach other than the actual day of activities. And Fred had mentioned that on the call today. So there's still many ways of keeping your run alive. Last year, if you can believe it, 35% of our runs increased. And that's how remarkable you people are. Like you blow my mind with your drive, determination, skills. It's incredible. So, obviously you can encourage online fundraising. Our online fundraising, as you can imagine, we still actually raise money with pledges. But we had a huge jump in online fundraising. And of course, Kim has been encouraging in Ontario, the run organizers to start with themselves to register online. So that's been good to see. Selling the merchandise, off your porch, if you're still not that comfortable, through local retailers, putting the posters up. They're beautiful this year. The colors are gorgeous. Reach out to the media through using our media kit, which is going to be available this week to communicate. So you'll be confident in your messaging. Host a call center to call participants. Allison from Aurelia had shared that idea with us on a call a while back. Engage on social media. I find someone smart and savvy because frankly, I am not. So if you can find somebody, we're also going to be presenting a few tips and tricks on the best way to present on social media. Hosting a virtual fundraiser. We've got some silent auctions going on, bottle drives. It's not quite as virtual, but close. And then, of course, our key one this year, which we're already excited to see getting pick up, is encouraging our pledge sheet participants to try our new QR code cards, where they have their own fundraising page linked right up on this lovely code. So it's a huge number of things that we can still do for both virtual and in person. And it's sort of exciting in the sense that it hasn't changed that much. There's still people desperate to support the Terry Fox Foundation, and you guys are contributing all of that for them to be able to do that. So those were, I think, the key points for me. Let me stop sharing. There were a couple of questions, and I don't know, Gabe was going to check to make sure if there were questions along the side. I wanted to say, I wanted to ask, there were a couple more here that came in from run organizers. I think Denise, oh, you know what, I forgot. I'm sorry. I was kind of going back and forth updating, and Denise had mentioned the virtual show. A follow-up on that, Denise, is when will the details be shared? And will there be digital promotional materials to maybe help promote it leading up to the run day as well?
Yeah, so the same production crew that's putting together the show for Monday is putting together the run show. So it's still being developed right now. And we're still figuring out the exact rollout of it. But yes, there will be support to promote it on social. There will be a page, a designed page for it on our website. There will be an email about it that can be designed and put together to be shared. And we should have a better sense of exactly what that show, how it comes together, and exactly how long it is, and how it's going to be shared in the next week or two.
Okay, that's fantastic. Because it's great. I have to say, kudos to you guys. We've already, Denise sent out, well, we sent out that email yesterday, and I've already been looking at all the, scrolling through my Instagram and seeing everybody posting all of the broadcast content. So that's been amazing. You guys are the best PR people in the world, frankly.
Engine. It's an engine, really. I love it.
It's a little engine that could. That's us. And then I had a great one here from Allison in Aurelia. So I'm going to just read it out here a little bit. But I think it could help to give some people who are still looking at a virtual some ideas. So she said, my question is about offering support awareness on run day, because many runs in Ontario can't go ahead because Ontario has a maximum 100 for a gathering. She says, are we able to host Terry Fox run day stations I envision maybe 5 stations throughout Aurelia and surrounding area. Each station would be manned by 2 volunteers. We would offer donation jar, tip tap, lanyard donations, a water bottle refill station. Oh my God, you guys are so smart. And a poster or something that participants can take a selfie with to show their participation in the 2021 event. We'd also have some participation stickers, ribbons, tattoos left over from previous years for any one stopping by. So Allison's question is, would these stations be allowed within the TFF guidelines as long as we follow our local health unit COVID protocols? And if so, are our volunteers insured when manning these stations? Because we have not yet, this is from Michael, we have not yet issued any insurance certificates for any events, any Terry Fox runs this year.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in, which is, yes, the ideas are good, and you know, again, being creative and figuring out how to do things within the guidelines is exactly what we want you to be doing. Importantly, we want you to be telling us what you're doing so that we have an awareness of it. And, you know, if there are questions like insurance and things, then we can then address that on a case-by-case basis. You know, I think that's a unique question that I think we're going to have to ask specifically about. And then Alison, we'll come back to you with it, but I love the ideas. I think they sound great.
Yeah, I love that idea. Also, we'll definitely going to share that as well. Thanks, Michael. That's fantastic. We'll get back. So I'm just checking. I don't see Gabe. I don't think there didn't seem to be many questions in the chat, which hopefully means we've been fulsome in our.
There was a question for Kim about something about her t-shirts and posters and stuff. Are they delayed? And Gabe, did you have that question?
Yeah, she will follow up with Kim via email. Okay. There was a question about run show, warm up and opening ceremony.
Yes, I do want to speak to that one. So, you know, again, what we're saying to everybody is like these are guidelines. We're encouraging people not to over plan, you know, because you know restrictions may tighten up tomorrow, next week, next month. They may loosen, and so again, we're encouraging you to plan flexible ideas. In terms of opening show, you know, you can still do things, you know, where people are standing socially distanced and use a blowhorn or just yell loud or things like that. But, you know, the ideas of getting the sound systems and the stages, you know, I believe that it leads to potentially wasted expenses and wasted time. But again, if your area very clearly, you know, has less restrictions, and you know, I look at Alberta as one that does, then again, you can make those decisions. Keep us informed of what those decisions are, so that we're always aware if we get asked by media or others, and we're able to defend it within the health guidelines for your local area.
There was also a question about tip tap. Do we get to use the tip tap machines in September? I'm asking because we will be at our farmers market in September before the run, and would be perfect for use it there. We're aiming to, Bobby, is it Bobby? Yes, in Lethbridge, we're aiming to have the tip tap machines available in September. We need volunteers to take them out. They've been some of them have been very quiet. Some of them have raised quite a bit of money, but some of them haven't even started raising yet. So here's what I will say is the more you use your tip tap machine and the more it raises, the longer it will be around. If we can afford it, you know, there's a cost to having these machines around. So if you can, we will have it out there.
I will
and
say
if you come back to us next year and say you didn't like the tip tap, well, that's decision made. But you know, again, if we love them and we try them, you know, there's some possibilities that are really exciting about them.
Well, I think we got an email this morning, Kim and myself in Ontario, from one of our organizers who has a tip tap down in Tecumseh, and she is beyond excited. I think they normally have a book sale, and I think that they had 2 volunteers for an hour shift and had already raised $350 with the tip tap. They said the volunteers were in heaven. Yes. With tip tap. So so that was great. So yeah, and I think honestly, if we should keep an eye on it, and if they're not getting the action that they need to get, we might need to move them. So I think we'll be proactive on that.
Oh, Kim just answered. So someone, Jill has asked, what is a tip-tap machine? Jill is a pilot. We're only doing in a few different campaigns. So just, I think there's 15 sites or 30 sites. Canada-wide, we're trying this little tap machine. You just go with your credit card and you tap and you donate $5 or $20 to the Terry Fox Foundation. If you're interested in hosting something like that, you can reach out to Kim, because I think Jill is in Ontario, and Kim can see if there is one of them that can be moved to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's part of our digital transformation. I love that word. I have no idea what it means, but it sounds good. We are trying to do, QR codes, tip tap machines. We've got a text to donate back in play. Like, we are so far ahead of the curve, you guys. It is amazing. Terry had a phone booth, that poor man. When I researched him this year, I realized there was one day he ran like through Montreal, and it was a 26-mile day, and he had to stand on the side of a road doing an hour-long radio show at the end of 26 miles. So if we cannot use tip tap and QR codes and tap our way to easy money, then we're not doing him justice. So listen, I think that's great. Was there anything else, Gabe, on the questions?
Let's put it out to everyone again before we say there are no more questions. If you have any last minute question, can you put it on the chat for us? I don't see anything else right now.
I want to let you guys know too, we are gonna have a series of, we're gonna call them Terry tutorials, sort of webinars, but they're live. And they're coming up. We're gonna send out next week the list of them, the dates and what the topics are and who the speakers are gonna be. So we hope you guys join us. We're gonna try to keep them short. They'll be shorter than this. We're trying to keep them to 30 or 45 minutes. And just sort of, again, to keep us engaged and also to keep connected. I think you guys probably feel like the staff do, and we have staff from all the provinces on the call today. We miss you guys. Like, it's very hard, even though we are still emailing and talking to you. Just sort of that feeling of being apart feels hard for Terry Foxers as well. So we really want to stay connected, and you guys can just join in when you want to. And of course, we are still going to be doing our Terry Fox Run Day celebration call like we did last year. Someone has suggested Bill Viggers, but unless Bill can behave, I don't think we can have him. So we will have to see who's an appropriate speaker. I might actually not even be allowed to speak after my flashing of all of you today. So, okay, so this is there any promotional posters for the Tip Tack or link? We have one in a restaurant. Okay, we'll get Donna to respond to that, Corey, for you when she gets back. Donna's at a family wedding today, so she'll get back to you with that for the Tip Tap. So I think that was really it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who are going to host the in-person events, the staff is here to answer questions, support you in any way. For our virtual organizers, please stay in touch with us. Keep the ideas like Allison's coming. We love them, and we love to share them as well because they're picked up by so many other communities too. So that's, I think, really it. We're ending early. Michael is probably like fallen over in his seat, since that never happens. And if you want to hang around, sometimes we just do a little chit chat at the end of this, for any of you who want to hang around. But for now, happy Saturday, happy Terry Fox Broadcast Day, and thank you for being remarkable. Your effort is truly kind of humbling, and we want to thank you for everything that you bring to Terry Fox and to the foundation. It's a joy to be able to work with you all. So thank you, guys. Enjoy the show on Monday night, and we can't wait to hear back from you on how you felt about it. So have a great day. Be safe. We'll chat next couple weeks. Thanks, team. And then you can unmute us all, Gabe.
Yeah, get in there. Allow participants to unmute themselves. So if you want to stick around, you can now unmute yourself.
Oh, lovely people.
I had to ask for permission to be unmuted. Hmm.
As is right, Fred Fox.
Oh.
You're very, very unpredictable. Oh my gosh. I cannot wear these shirts anymore. I got so distracted with my own cleavage. It was not good.
Nobody noticed.
No. Oh, I'm not sure, Gabe. I'm not sure. I don't know what's worse then? Is it just
Oh, look, Heather has a baby.
oh my gosh.
How is
Andrea,
Fox?
can we see Easton? Andrea.
He's awake.
Oh my gosh. Heather,
Oh.
what's your baby's name? Oh, he's away. Oh, what's your baby's name? Heather.
Gavin.
Oh my gosh. Congratulate. Oh.
Thank you.
Is
Oh
he
my
is he going to
gosh.
run this year?
Yeah.
Has to.
You don't have to run.
You don't